Hi, friends. So it is 12:40 in the morning, and I have been trying to record this video like 4 or 5 times. I finally had it nailed down, and it was great. I forgot to share my screen. Ugh. So I'm a little punchy. I'm tired. And so I apologize that I'm not looking my best and that I might stumble over my words. So please forgive me. Okay, the reason why I am recording this punchy as heck at 12:40 in the morning is because, well, number one, I don't have to work tomorrow, so that's nice. I have a massage at 9 o'clock, which is amazing. But it's because I know that a lot of you wanted me to show you how to make these bag tag or these leather tags in Publisher and show you beginning to end. So if you're somebody who's computer savvy and you already know how to do all this, you're probably going to want to skip this video because I really want to make sure that I'm taking care of everybody who doesn't yet know how to use Publisher. I am going to stick to a plain black and white. I'm going to demonstrate how to create the logos that I used the other day for the leather tags. I'm also going to show you how to create the same thing, but using an existing complete logo that has the text and the words of the company already on it. Friend Sue said that I could use her Dreamscape Studios logo to demonstrate that. And then the third option is I'm going to show you how to find an image online, insert that for your, to do it like your own logo at home so you don't have to purchase anything from Etsy. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to get into it. And let's hope I remember to share my screen so you can see it. All right, here we go. Okay, so I wanted to show you my Etsy screen. And the reason why this is important is that when I purchased my vine wreath, it came in a bunch of different file formats. Now, SVG is something that if we are using this in Cricut, we really want to use the SVG file because it's already transparent and that's the program or that's the file format that Cricut uses. So we want to have it in SVG if possible. But for Publisher likes PNG and JPEG. It will not see an SVG file. So if you're trying to insert a file into Publisher and you know that you have it as SVG, it's not going to see it. So I have already downloaded these to my computer by clicking download, and it puts it right into my download folder. All right, that's just a little kind of a side note. I'm going to minimize this. Now, to get into Publisher from my home screen, I just clicked on this Publisher icon that I have down here below. If you don't have it in your taskbar, you click on this search button and you type Publisher and then enter, and Publisher will pop up. Once you have it open, you can right click on your icon, I'm so sorry, and you can tell it to pin this to your taskbar, and then it will always be here. So these are all the programs that I use all the time, and I've pinned them here. Sorry, snapshot of me looking like a goofball. Okay, so let's go into a blank 8.5 by 11 project, and I just double clicked on it, and it brought us into here. It doesn't matter whether you do portrait or landscape orientation, but I'm going to use portrait for these demonstrations. The first thing we need to do is we need to insert a square. There's always more than one way to do the exact same thing. I'll try to be consistent, but if I'm not, just consider it a way that you can see me do the same thing 3 different ways. I'm just going to do insert a shape, and I need to insert the square. I'm going to use my left button on my mouse and drag diagonally to create a square, roughly. I want to change the fill to no fill. I want it to be transparent, but with this black outline. And then I want the height and the width to be 1.8 inches. And I got to that number because I can fit 4 tags along this left to right margin if I use this 1.8. And it's still a nice size for a bag tag and doesn't kind of overtake our project. You're welcome to make this as big or as small as you feel is appropriate for both your logo and the project that you're putting it on. Okay, so moving forward, the first demonstration I'm going to show you is how to recreate the tags that I showed you on the leather tag video. Now I need to insert that vine wreath that I purchased. So I'm going to come here to insert, and I want to insert a picture. I don't want to choose online pictures because that would take me to the internet. I want to do a picture that's on my computer, and I have them saved here. I just know that they're here in my logos folder, and I'm going to do this demonstration folder. If you have it on preview in this mode, if you have it on thumbnail, you might get concerned thinking that it's a black box, but it's not. Because I downloaded the PNG file, and if I hover over it, it tells me that the item type is PNG. It's transparent on a black background, and so it's not showing up these black lines, but they're visible here in the preview section. Okay, I'm going to skip from giving you more detail about that, but if you need to know about how the file library works with different views and details and that kind of thing, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to do another video that goes into that. Okay, so trust me that this one is going to work. I'm going to hit insert. Well, it comes in and it's much too big, but that's okay. We're going to just change it up here. I know that I need it to be about a half an inch smaller than this square. And I arrived at the half an inch because I need it to be once I cut it, I want there to be a 1/8 margin to where my stitch line goes, and then another 1/8 margin on the other side of that stitch line to where the logo begins, so that it's an equal distance or an equal border or margin around this tag. So I want to make this 1.3, which is half an inch smaller than 1.8. It's going to make the height 1.48 because the aspect ratio is locked, and for whatever reason, when I'm in Zoom, I'm not able to use some of these buttons. They get cut off down here below. And so I'm just going to avoid showing you that, how to fix that aspect ratio. I'll go in and I'll show you really quick, but I won't be able to actually make it take effect. So if I wanted to manually override and I wanted to say, I want this to be 1.3, and I want the width to be 1.3. I would have had to unclick both of these boxes, okay? And I can't click that button down there, but down there is a button that says okay on most screens when I'm not recording in Zoom. Okay, so that's how you would go about doing that. All right, I have both of these here, and now I'm going to zoom in. And the way that I am going to be zooming in and zooming out throughout this tutorial is that I'm holding down the control key on my keyboard, and then I'm using the roller bar on my mouse to just go up and down. All right, now I need to insert the text for my business name. So I'm always going to just go here from insert, even though there's other ways to do this. I'm going to insert a text box. Just like when I drew my square, I'm going to pull diagonally using my left mouse button and draw diagonally down. And now I'm going to center this both horizontally and vertically. And I'm going to type Charming Cheek. Going to select the text by again using my left mouse button to select and choosing a font that I like. And I know that I happen to like this Audacity script. Going to increase it, get it to take up as much of that space as possible before it cuts off. I'm going to see if I can't scooch this open just a little bit to get that G in there. Now I know that these red buttons these nodes have turned to red because I've got text overflowing, right? The way I need to find it and to be able to change the spacing and everything is while this cursor is flashing here on my keyboard, I'm going to hold down my Control and my Shift keys and then also hit the end. So Control, Shift, End. Now everything is selected in this text box, even though I can't see it in the current view. I'm going to come here to the Home button with everything selected, and I'm going to choose Paragraph. And now I want to change the distance between the lines to 0.95. And just like that, it brought everything back, and I don't have those red warning nodes, and everything fits in the box just fine. If I wanted to reduce that spacing even more, I would just go back into the paragraph box and try something like 0.85. That's even better, I think. I like that even better. But I don't like how this is hitting that flower. I'm gonna move it over a little bit. Okay, that's great. Remember that these are like 1.3 inches. And so this, even if it's off a little bit and not centered, it's not going to be noticeable to the naked eye. I'm going to zoom back out so you all can see what I'm doing. Sorry, my throat is getting a little bit scratchy. Okay, so I'm selecting everything, and now I need to group it. So now I have this perfect little box. I love it. I'm going to come over here to copy, and then I'm going to paste it 3 times. These blue lines that you see on my screen are the kind of the road markers that show me where my margins are. And so I want to have one of these boxes. I'm just moving them out of the way. It doesn't matter what I do with them. I'm going to have one of them in the top left corner and the other in the top right corner. I'm going to select them all. And now I want to choose align top and then align distribute horizontally, and that's going to space them out an equal distance from each other left to right within the kind of the open area between the 2 on either end. I hope that made sense. Okay, now I'm going to choose group because I want this whole row grouped, and I'm going to choose paste and then, oops, Control Z to undo. I'm going to choose copy and then paste. Now it's pasting this one. And I want to paste a couple more times and see how many we can fit on this going vertically. Maybe you can get one more. I'm going to zoom out so you can see everything I'm doing. Okay, and that looks about to my eye that I'll be able to get all of these distributed vertically in the same way we did the distribute horizontally. So I'm going to select everything again. I'm going to choose align left and then now align distribute vertically. And yep, it worked perfect. So now everything is an equal distance from each other, top to bottom and left to right. Because I've taken the time to align everything on the left, now when I run my ruler and my X-Acto knife and my rotary blade down this line, it will cut everything off easily. And if I didn't have everything aligned, then I would have to cut out each square individually, and nobody wants to do that. Okay, all that's left to do now is to save this and then to print it. Okay, so that was one option, showing you exactly what I had done with a purchased file from Etsy and adding my own text box. Okay, so let's do a new file. I'm doing Control N, which is new, and I'm going to use this blank. Clicked it, it opened a blank page for me. Now I want to start again in the same way that we did with it, inserting a shape, and it's the square, drawing our square, changing the height to 1.8 and the width to 1.8, changing the fill to no fill, and now I want to insert an existing logo. And my friend Sue has given me permission to share her logo. Now, she's provided to me in 2 formats. One is a JPEG and one is a PNG. I've already showed you what a PNG looks like in my logo, so now we're going to just use the JPEG. Because we're using a black and white format for this demonstration, it doesn't matter whether or not this is a solid white background, and it is. Your inkjet printer doesn't have white ink in it. And so if any of your logo really needs to be white in order to look normal, then it might not be appropriate for you to print on colored surfaces. So something that comes to mind is like the whites of somebody's eyes. If you're printing on yellow, then you are going to end up with yellow eyes. So it's just something, to think about. Okay, so Sue's logo needs to be back at that 1.3 size. So I'm just going to come up here and type 1.3, and it's automatically going to resize it proportionally. Okay, so we're going to bring it in here. Now I'm going to select all of the objects, and I'm going to choose align center and align middle, and then group. Now we're ready to do the copy and the paste, paste, paste. Upper right logo, margin, and upper left margin. Select them all, align top, align distribute horizontally, and we've got our first row. We're ready to group it. Copy, paste, paste, paste. Move this one down here, and I think I can get another one. And okay, so now I'm going to select them all. Align left, align distribute vertically. And the problem is I didn't bring it down far enough. Okay, let's try one more time. I might have an extra row. I might need to get rid of one of these rows. So we're going to align distribute vertically. And that's the problem. Well, let's see if I can get it down here. Try one more time. Selecting everything. Align left, align distribute vertically. Yep, I'm not going to be able to fit all of those without there being some overlap. So I do need to delete one of these rows. Move this guy down a little bit. And select them all. Align, distribute vertically. Oh, I missed the one on the bottom. Select all objects. Align, distribute vertically. Okay, that's better. Now everything's ready to go. And just to be double safe that everything is on the left, I'm going to select everything and then align left. And now it's ready to save. Okay, so that's our second option. Let's go back to a new page, Control New. Blank. Let's go back to the beginning where we insert a shape, our square, drawing it, 1.8 by 1.8. Shape fill is going to be no fill. And now let's insert from the internet. So it used to be that there was clipart in Publisher and Word and all of those things, and they've replaced that now with online pictures, of which I'm not a fan, but Bill Gates didn't listen to me, so now we're stuck with online pictures. So we're choosing online pictures powered by Bing. You can certainly take an image from Google, copy it, and then paste it into here, but I want to show you this method here. So we're going to insert a wreath and hit enter. It's going to bring up approximately 5,289 wreaths that are not the kind that I want. So instead I'm going to choose filter because life is too short to look through them all. Now I want to look for line drawings. Perfect. This is more of what I'm talking about. I want to filter it one more time and I want to choose square line drawings so that everything is going to fit within our square. I want to use something that is dark for this image. I don't want to use something that is cute like this, but is too faded and will not show up well on the surface that we're adding it to. I also don't want it to be too wispy and too busy. I want it to be somewhat structured. So I think I'm going to use this one, and I'm just going to say insert. It came in, it's a little bit too big. We need to make it 1.3. And because it's a circle, it automatically changed it to 1.3 here as well. I'm going to bring this, put it in the circle or in the center somewhat. We're going to select them all, align center, align middle, and Now I'm going to zoom in so that you can see what we're looking at. Now I'm going to use this little slider so that you can see again what we're working with. Zoom in a little bit tighter. Okay. Now it's just time to add that text box again. And choose our font. And let's make it centered and as big as possible. So the reason why it didn't affect anything when I was choosing that font up button is because I didn't have the text itself selected. So come down here and say 16. My G dropped down below, and so I need to make my box just a little bit wider without running into the little circle border that's around here. Looks pretty good. I do want to change the paragraph spacing again. I'm going to come home, paragraph, spacing between the lines, 0.9. Try that. Looks great. Okay, again, we're ready to start doing our aligning center and then grouping this and then building our blocks from there. So let's select all, align, align center, align middle, and then group. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the page while we build this. Okay, so copy, paste, paste, paste. Upper right margin, select them all, align top, align distribute horizontally, perfect. Group, copy, paste, 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 paste. You think I would have counted by now since I've done this recording a few times how many I could get onto the page, but I have not. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. And because we're having the computer do all the aligning for us and the distributing, we don't need to worry about whether or not they overlap and we're messy as we go about this process. It doesn't matter. The computer is going to fix it all. Okay, so select all, align left, align, distribute vertically. Perfect. Right off the bat, we got it made that time. Okay, and then we're ready to save this. And that is all there is to it for these black and white tags. Now, if you would find more detail about anything that I showed you today helpful, if you think that I went over something too fast, or if something piqued your interest and you want me to spend more time describing it, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate everybody so much who has subscribed. I wish that it wasn't 1:03 a.m. and I had a little bit more pep in my step, because I want you to hear my voice, how excited I am by the way that this channel has grown. It's just amazing. When it has grown this fast and so many of you are staying tuned and keeping me going, it means that I can justify staying up until 1 in the morning to create content for you because it's valuable to you. The entire intent of this channel is to help you, to inspire you, to show you an idea, and then to have you take off and run with it and make it better than even I had imagined at the beginning. So many of you are already doing that with that leather tag. Lindsay has printed it on cork in her laser printer and they look phenomenal. Nikki tonight sent me a picture of hers that were done. It's just the best feeling in the world is helping people, especially creative people like you. So if you like and subscribe, if you haven't done that yet, I would sure appreciate it. If you have kind, constructive comments, criticism and ways that I can improve, I like those comments too. Keep them coming, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Thanks.